Hey, it's your buddy Tim Show coming back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. And today we're going to talk about level 25 dungeons, the teams I use to beat them, an idea about the drop rate, and is it worth farming those dungeons? So let's get into it. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about the drop rates in the level 25 dungeons. So I set up an auto clicker and we went through the level 25 dungeons to see how many 6-star items we would get. So as you can see, because it takes so much longer for me to do these runs, I was only able to do, I'm guessing in the 70s, because I'm going to get some non-gear runs, either with shards or some other things. So let's say 70 runs. And I was able to get 24 level 6-star items. So that's about 35% drop on the 6-star items, which isn't too bad. So I'm going to go through these and figure out what maybe the item power is and how much out of all of these I'm going to keep. And then we can talk about if it's worth running these dungeons for the drops. Okay, so let's go through how much gear I was actually able to save after this run. So out of the 70 or so runs I made, I was able to save 7 pieces of gear. Now what I look for in gear is obviously 6-star. If it's not a 6-star, unless it is speed boots, I will get rid of it. And then at the 6-star, it has to have speed on it. If it doesn't have speed on it, I get rid of it. And then I roll until I hit a roll in speed. So my thinking is that the gear, like the rare gear that only has 2 spots, you have the best chance of getting a double roll into speed. So if I hit a 4 and I stop when I hit the first roll in speed, I know when I'm looking for this gear that I could possibly get or have the best chance of getting at least a second roll into the speed. And then obviously you have a possibility of getting 3 rolls into the epic gear. Obviously I had to take 2 to get there, but like this one, I hit speed on the first roll, so there is a possibility I could get 2 more speed rolls there, which if I needed it, I could use that. And then if I didn't need all that speed, I would find the one that had either an 8 or a 12, knowing that I probably didn't have a great chance of getting the 3rd speed roll. So my take, no, 25 dungeons are not worth the time or resources to farm. I do much better on the level 20 dungeons. And not only for gear collection, but also for silver production, because I just couldn't farm enough to make this worthwhile. So that's my take. Now let's get into the teams and we'll wrap this video up. Okay, so the first dungeon we'll talk about is Spider 25. You can see Spider 25, I have a best time of 1 minute and 13 seconds, which isn't too much different. I guess I do 20 faster, so it's twice as slow, but 1 minute 13 isn't anything to be too upset about. I'll probably do a full night farm on them and see if the drops are any better. But let me show you the team. So the team is a Tyrant for the HP burns, obviously, and then Stag Knight for the drop defense and attack, and Miscreated Monster for the protection. And then I don't use him. I tried him. It didn't work. Obviously, I don't want her either. I want her. So this is the team. I use it to get done. Since it's a fast run, we can run through it real quick, and you can see how it works. It's 100% successful run. So I run my Tyrant at about 223 speed, and then everyone else goes down from there. So the idea is I want him. I'd actually like him a little slower, so when these last 2 Spiderlings drop, he actually gets the HP burn on them as well. And then my Cold Hearts get off their Heart Seekers. Miscreated Monster gets his big shields down, and you can see it goes down pretty quickly. So pretty easy run. We'll let this finish, hopefully get some really sweet 6-star gear. You know, in my level 20 runs, he's not able to get off his heals, where he will here, and it makes the run a little more dicey. Wow, this run's going to be very dicey. he should get off his HP burn. Okay, and that should be the end of the spider. So you can see, yeah, it's a tough run. You know, these spiders hit hard, but a minute 29 isn't too bad. No speed on it, so we get rid of it. So I won't take you through the fights on every dungeon, but I'll give you a feel for what we're doing. So dragon, we looked at dragon drops. My best time is 442. Here's my team. The thing you're going to notice about these late dungeons is the waves and bosses smack really, really hard. So having constant attack down and defense down, and then having reviver, cleanser, and a healer is super helpful. So I use martyr. My martyr is running at 216 speed with a lot of defense, and her provokes to try to keep the waves off of my bad L, are really what she's in there for. You'll see these two everywhere. A disclaimer, I don't know how you replace these two. You know, they're vital because both of their turn meter reductions and his counterattack mechanism makes these runs a lot more successful for me, and I'll show you what I mean in a quick. We'll just run through the part of the first wave so you can kind of see how it works. But the idea is you want to make sure you're keeping, because these guys, every one of them will one-shot you if you're not prepared. So Coronar provokes them, puts up, increases his defense, and now we'll get counterattacks with Martyr, and we're able to sort of just burn through these guys. You know, I tried some seer runs and I'm able to get through the first wave pretty easy, but then the second wave just beats the tar out of you. So, but you can see it's, you know, it's slow, but it's steady. Arbiter's there to kind of keep us sped up, and you know, the reliability of a decrease down and a cleanse and a heal is super important. So you can see that. So let's go to Ice Golem. And I never farm Ice Golem, so I didn't really care too much about this. But you can see 622, very similar. You know, I had to go Stagnite, and any of my decreased attack down champions were negative affinity for this guy, so I went with Duck. And then I use him for his shields and heals. And you'll see very similar to that first run. I put Manaya as the speed lead here because she's got a 19% speed aura. But again, keeping the provokes on these guys, running their turn meters down, and keeping reliable decreased attack and decreased defense on the mobs at all time, super, super important, especially for this boss. If he gets a double turn, he's going to wipe you. So I ran this about 5 times, and I almost lost once, but I didn't. So I'm not ready to say it's 100% win, but it's pretty safe. So you can see that. Let me show you. Let me show you what they're running at. You saw the Coronar and Manaya. So let me show you what I'm running my Warlord is again at 211 speed with enough accuracy to drop the turn meter and hit his block ability spell, and then Duck is again 211 and good accuracy to hit his attack down. And then the last one is Fire Knight, which is definitely a different team. Well, same heart. You got to get through the waves, right? The idea is you get through the waves to get to the boss. Again, a slow run, 909. But you know, pretty standard team. I have these two, obviously, again, to try to keep the waves off me. I needed a reviver on this, and then turn meter control with a lure is important. And I'll give you a feel for what this looks like. So this guy could be worrisome because he doesn't have the provoke on him. But the counterattack mechanism that Manaya and Coronar share, so every time he provokes and every time someone hits him, he does that double AoE turn meter drop. I also have him in a stun set to try to further the crowd control that I have on these guys. And then her hitting those sleeps is super helpful. So you can see it very similar to what my others are. When we get to the boss, you know, because of her multiple hitter and then her A1 multiple hitter, we're able to, once he drops his shield, we're able to keep it down. So let me show you how fast these guys are running, and then we'll wrap up the video. So, you know, Manaya and Coronar are both at, you know, 180, 185. This is my speed lead for Arena, so she's about the fastest champion I have at 329. My Cold Heart is at 201 with you know, probably not enough accuracy to keep the turn meter totally depleted, but that's what Allure is for. She's mostly there for damage when he drops the shield, and then my Allure is running at just under 200 with enough accuracy to keep his shield down. So those are my teams. I hope it was helpful. I hope that you got a good feel for what the drops were like. I would say continue to farm level 20s, possibly until enough new champs come out or enough new gear comes out to make 25s viable. But as always, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you again.